Hello, my name is Tony.
And my name is Linda.
Today we're going to talk about rehabbing residential properties. In previous videos, we've talked about buying houses that others shy away from, houses that need work. As the amount of work needed on a property increases, the number of bidders decreases. This is a good way to get a great deal on real estate. Doing this will require some number crunching to determine the closing costs and renovation expenses. Basically, the total cost to complete, including any closing costs or related expenses. It's important to do that before any offer is made. Also, don't forget to add a contingency fund for unknown problems with the property. We think 20+% is a realistic number, but should be adjusted based on the scope of work for the project.
Ask your realtor to do a competitive market analysis on the property based on what it would be worth if it was renovated. Let them know what you are planning on doing to the property, as well as what the specification and features will be. For example, new kitchen cabinets, granite countertops, hardwood flooring, new appliances, and so on. Once the finished value is established and the rehab costs are known, it is easy to back into an offer amount given your expected profit margin. Keep in mind, if your intent is to flip the property, you will need to add all the costs of selling the property as well.
Another important thing to remember is that offers regularly fall through. Just because an initial offer was not accepted doesn't mean it won't be. We've had many more offers rejected than we ever did accepted. However, we usually stay in contact with realtors to see if the winning offer goes through. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. By staying in touch with a realtor, we were able to buy the house when the winning bid fell through. In this video, we're going to walk through a rehab that we did. We made a lowball offer on this property as it was in really bad shape. I think we were both incredibly surprised when the offer was actually accepted. In this case, the previous offer fell through, probably because of a home inspection. We did a complete reno on the property. However, to keep the video short, we'll focus on the kitchen only.
This is a photo of the property before we began renovations. The property looks better in the picture than it actually was. It was a foreclosure that had not been lived in for a long time. There was literally a weed growing in one of the rooms between the base mold and the floor. The house was built in a hole and had water damage. We did significant excavation to cut back the hillside and trees that were encroaching on the house. Next, we dug out the decrepit pool. To control the stormwater, we installed DOT-rated pipe and drainage catch basins. We also regraded the lot so stormwater drained away from the house.
The kitchen was small, outdated, and structurally unsound. The floor bounced as we walked through it. It had layers and layers of vinyl beneath the tile. The kitchen layout was a pass-through. The only way to the family room, laundry room, load center, and hot water heater was through the kitchen. I can't imagine how anyone cooked in there. It was a small, unfunctional space.
We tore out the cabinets, tore down the wall between the laundry room, the mechanical room, and the kitchen. Then, we busted down the ceiling and tore the drywall off the walls, removed all the insulation, and exposed all kinds of issues. The drain pipe to the kitchen sink had come loose, so the water drained into the crawl space. The moisture also rotted away the jack stud that supported the roof and window header. The wall between the kitchen and laundry was structural, and a drop beam held up the roof.
We ripped up the flooring. As we took layer after layer, it became apparent just how bad the floor was. So we pulled off the subfloor to expose the floor joists. Then we could see the full impact of the damage. When the house was built, the plumber cut through one of the joists. There was maybe 10% of the joist left after the plumber's notch. Another joist was cut short and had actually dropped below the supporting beam. It was only held in place by the subfloor plywood it was nailed to. As if that wasn't enough, there was a structural beam that only spanned half the floor. That explained why the floor wasn't level.
Once all the demo was done, we cleaned out all the debris from the crawl space, then dug the crawl space deeper. We stayed 2 feet from the foundation. That was necessary to provide access under the kitchen in the future. If a drain pipe were to ever come loose in the future, we would be able to get in there and fix it. We also put a proper vapor barrier down in the crawl space. Next, we doubled up the floor joists and extended the supporting beam across the width of the floor. That required digging 2 spread footings and piers to support the beam. We wanted the floor to be very solid so the floor would support the cabinets, appliances, granite countertops, and a live load without deflecting. We may have overdone it a bit, but we wanted it to last. After all, this would be a buy and hold investment.
We moved the window over so we'd be able to squeeze in a corner cabinet. The kitchen was still relatively small and we wanted to pack in as many cabinets as possible. We also wanted to center the kitchen sink on the window. Moving the window did not cost much, but it did take some time as we needed to reconfigure some studs and replace the hardy board and batten siding. Probably not something most people would have done, but we wanted it to look right. We had an electrician relocate the load center as well, so that way we could run wall cabinets in the area that used to be the mechanical room. The electrician also added the range plug outlets and can lights. The new kitchen layout was very efficient with the refrigerator across from the range and microwave and the sink only 2 steps away.
Next, we ran the mechanicals, new plumbing supply lines, drain pipe, and HVAC supply lines. We relocated the kitchen sink to where the laundry was in the original layout. Also added a water line for the refrigerator. The gas water heater was relocated and replaced. We converted the family room closet into the mechanical room and added an electric water heater. We spent a great deal of time creating a flush beam in the attic so that we could combine the kitchen, laundry room, and mechanical room into one larger kitchen area. Still, not a large room by any stretch of the imagination, but 3 times larger than it was.
We framed in the pantry as we needed to get ductwork from the air handler into the family room. Someone converted the garage into a family room and it didn't have heating or air conditioning. These ducts will enable us to condition the air in the family room. We also converted the drop beam in the ceiling to a flush beam in the attic. That was a lot of work. Next, we installed batt insulation in the walls. Notice we added cabinet blocking to the wall framing as well. We used blown fiberglass insulation in the ceiling. We hung the drywall on the walls and ceiling, applied tape and joint compound to the seams and inside corners, then sanded it smooth, primed and finished it with 2 coats of paint. It was starting to look like a real room again.
We put the vapor barrier down and placed the oak flooring planks in the room for it to acclimate. That gave us some time to step up our search for appliances. It is important to start the search early to find a good deal on appliances. Waiting until the last minute is the best way to pay too much. We were able to get the appliances either on sale or on clearance. The store held the appliances until we needed them. We ordered the kitchen cabinets 4 weeks prior. Always order long lead time items early so that your project doesn't come to a screeching halt. We think installing cabinets is easy, so we installed them ourselves. After all, we knew we were working in a room with level floors and square walls.
Once the cabinets were in, we had the appliances delivered. We wanted to be able to use the refrigerator while we were working on other areas of the house. Countertops took 2 weeks. Most places want the cabinets installed before they come out and measure for the countertops, hence the 2-week lead time. Once the tops were in, we installed the kitchen faucet, dishwasher, and sink drain line. We added door handles to the cabinets and installed window blinds. We also added shelves and a bifold door to the pantry.
To minimize expenses, we used as many stock items as we could. Avoid custom or special order materials. We bought most of our building materials through the contractor's desk at big box retailers. Bundle your purchases so that you can do a bulk buy. We always asked for a corporate quote. A corporate quote is when the contractor's desk sends the list of your materials to their corporate office for a special quote. They will do that for combined purchases over a minimum dollar threshold. We regularly received 10 to 30% off. They discount each item differently. We also shopped for sales as much as we could. For example, the oak flooring that we installed was on clearance at a local retailer. It pays to shop around.
We also bought the door hardware, molding, and other items in contractor packs. The bulk buys reduced all our costs, and we knew we would use extra material. Rehabbing property is a lot of work, but if you have the skill, drive, and patience, you can turn an eyesore into a great home. We always try to rehab properties to a point where we would live in them. Perhaps not a short-term approach to investing, but we try to think for the long term. For the most part, we are buy and hold investors. We view property as a retirement tool, and we would rather make major repairs while we're still working.
There is a larger social benefit as well to restoring a house to its former glory. We regularly received positive comments from neighbors who stopped by to check our progress. One thing we have noticed from rehabbing properties is the effect that it has on neighbors. As we start pouring time and money into the house beside or across the street from theirs, it always seems like they start doing more things to improve their properties. That can turn around a neighborhood.
We hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, please forward it to a friend, click the like button, and subscribe to our channel. Until then, earn more, spend less, and invest the rest. Thank you.